Hey, it's Lauren Cisnelli, the sports dietitian. I wanted to talk a little bit about what to eat after practice. So after practice, our focus point is recovery. So there are three components to this recovery. That's going to be replenishing our carbohydrate stores, rebuilding muscles, and then replacing the fluids that we lost in sweat. So those three components are really vital to the recovery process. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of each of those three components. So first up, replacing those carbohydrate stores. Sometimes this is overlooked, is getting carbohydrates after workouts and after practice. A lot of times we're really focused on protein, but carbohydrates are just as important, if not more important, than getting that protein afterwards. So making sure that we have those carbohydrates is going to be really helpful in supporting your muscles, really getting that energy put back into them so that you're ready to go for the next day. And it can also help decrease some of that muscle soreness that sometimes we get after harder or more intense workouts. So making sure that we have those carbohydrate sources is really important. We also want to have that protein. Like I mentioned, protein is helpful. Carbohydrates are also helpful, but we want to make sure that we have that protein source as well. So getting that protein is going to help support the rebuilding and repairing of your muscles. So after a workout, we slightly break down those muscles a little bit. We've got to rebuild them so that they come back stronger. We want to make sure that we're getting that protein after a workout to support that process too. So when we think about carbohydrates and protein after practice, there are a lot of different options. There are many different ways that we can do this. We can do it with liquids, we can do it with solid food, we can have a meal, we can have a snack. So it's really going to be up to you and how you're feeling, how hungry you are, what time of day it is, as far as, did you just eat dinner or a meal before practice? Really just based on personal preference. So when we think about this, one of the most common options for a recovery drink is chocolate milk. That's because it has both carbohydrates and protein in it. It also has that hydration factor. So hydration is that third component of recovery. We've got to make sure that we're rehydrating, we're replacing those fluids that we lost when we were working out and sweating. So chocolate milk covers all three of those bases, so that can be a really great option. I know a lot of people use protein drinks and things like that. That can be an option, but we really want to make sure that we're adding the carbohydrate to that as well. So if you have a protein drink, maybe you have a banana or other type of fruit with it to really balance it out and make sure that we're getting that carbohydrate, or it's a protein drink with a granola bar or some other type of carbohydrate. If you are ready for a full meal, go for it. This is, again, a time to build a performance plate with those carbohydrates, with the protein, with some type of fruit or vegetable on your plate. Because it's after practice, we have a little bit more flexibility here. We don't need to focus as much on limiting those protein and higher fat foods. We can have and incorporate a little bit more of those at this time of day. So maybe it's a burrito bowl. Maybe you stop on your way home and get a burrito bowl. Maybe it's a grilled chicken sandwich with a side of fruit or a salad. Maybe you're going home and having a full, maybe you're having tacos or spaghetti and meatballs, but really having that variety of foods with the carbohydrates, the proteins, fruits, and vegetables on that plate. That's really the goal if you're having a meal afterwards. If you have a drink or a meal, again, that's going to depend on how hungry you are, if dinner is ready after practice, or if there's going to be a little bit of downtime in between there. So if it's going to be more than an hour or two before your next meal, we really want to make sure that we're getting something quick in there. So maybe that is a glass of chocolate milk or a protein drink with a granola bar. But again, making sure that we get that protein, the carbohydrates, and the fluids. Those are your three components of building a good recovery meal or snack.